some announcements. I hereby declare, by royal decree, that as of April 20th, 2017, Big Mom's party has officially turned into a shit mess. Woo, buddy! So, I did notice that in the color spread that we get, all the Straw Hats have bigger squares, except for Jinbe. Is that foreshadowing? Does it mean that he's not going to be able to join the crew because Big Mom's going to kill him? What does that mean? I'm just going to say that I find that a little bit disconcerting, but then I'm going to move on because we have so much epic things to cover. So, the cake collapses. Sanji grabs pudding. He's like, okay, Luffy, it's up to you. And Big Mom is just freaking out. She's like, the cake, the cake. She goes into shock and she's asking her subordinates for another cake. Bring me another cake. Her subordinates respond, we can't. It actually took them days to collect the ingredients for that cake. Then she pulls a Davy Jones. Remember that line in Pirates of the Caribbean where Davy Jones just asks people, do you fear death? Do you fear the dark abyss? And then he either lets you join his crew or he kills you. If you fear death, you get to live. If not, then you die. But in Big Mom's case, Morgan's, who's by the way eating this up, he's like super excited because all of this is breaking news. All right, so he's like, okay, so this is a technique called soul pocus, or the words of the soul, whatever you want to call it. It's the same technique that she used against her son. She ended up killing her son using the same exact technique by pulling his soul after, like, she offers you something. It's always X or life, okay? And if you can't give X, then you're gonna die. Or at least that's what we thought, because now there's a catch to it. We find out that you literally have to be afraid of death in order for this to work. So I just thought about it, like, I wonder if, like, she were able to fight Kaido, that this ability wouldn't work because Kaido literally wants to die. Like, Kaido's so strong that his hobbies are literally finding ways for him to end his life that don't work because he's so OP. Anyway, I'm pretty sure the technique probably wouldn't work on Luffy either, just because of what we know of Luffy as a character. From the very first episode, he told Kobe, you know, I've decided that I'm going to be king of the pirates, and if I die, you know, that's okay. At least I tried. I actually ended up dying doing something that I wanted to do. And then in Logtown, when, you know, Buggy's about to, like, cut his head off, he just sees, like, he gives up. He's like, you know, I guess this is it. I'm sorry. And he smiles. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the technique's not going to work on Luffy because he doesn't fear death. And just to use the Zoro logic, because in Fishman Island, Zoro says something like, you know, if my captain were any less than what I am as a fighter, as a person, then he wouldn't be my captain. He just wouldn't. It just makes no sense for Luffy to have these badass subordinates like Jinbe, all right, and then Luffy be afraid of that technique. So we actually get the explanation as to how they were able to pull this off. Basically, there's a mirror inside of Capone where the Straw Hats were, and they also placed a mirror inside of the cake so that they can just jump out of there. And before that, Luffy just collected these weird creatures in the woods so that Brûlé can turn them into Luffy clones. Jinbei's like, all right, that's the last Luffy clone. Let's go, everybody. We're in business. Move, move, move. Pedro, grab me some cover with Tamago. He didn't say that, but I'm pretty sure that's something that's going to happen. So, yeah, Pedro and Jinbei just jump out of the mirror world. There's a really good shot, very well-drawn panel of Nami, Chopper, and Carrot. They're just like, you know, looking at the camera like bosses. It's like, all right, it's game time. It's like, yeah, it's like even Nami says like, put your game faces on. We have to go. By the way, we'll leave the rest up to you, human scum. And Caesar's just like, There's two panels in this chapter that made me laugh out loud, and they're both reactions. That's the first one with Caesar, because I don't really know why he's whimpering, like why he's crying. Is it because he felt insulted, or is it because he's kind of gradually and slowly feeling like he's part of a team now? I don't know. It could be both. I just thought it was hilarious. So all the fake Luffys are jumping out of the cake, and then Big Mom just gets flashbacks to all of Luffy's challenges that he's issued her in the past, being like, I'm gonna take you down, you don't get to be cocky just because you're a yonko, and she's really pissed off. And then Capone, we get a shot of Capone, he's super relaxed throughout most of this. He's just like smoking a cigarette, like, hey, this turned out to be a really good plan after all, huh? You know, and usually, you know, if you've seen Naruto, you know that a shadow clone, or shadow clones, are a way of distracting the enemy. You know, it's kind of like a diversion. It's a really good technique to sort of deceive the enemy into thinking that you're somebody that you're not, and then, you know, come in with a hidden attack. And I think Capone, that's what he was thinking. It's like, yeah, I watch my Naruto cartoons. I know exactly how this is going to work out. Come to find out, Big Mom just asks, where's the real Luffy? Who's the real Monkey D? And then Luffy's like, I'm the real one. Gotti, Vito, lock and load, get ready. They're like, okay, we're on. And then, I do think what's going to happen, at least with one of those shots, is that it's going to hit somebody from the Straw Hat side, just because we do have Reiju who can suck up poison. That's one of the first things that was introduced this arc. She can actually absorb. She actually likes eating poison. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that somebody who shouldn't be poisoned gets poisoned in all this chaos. By the way, speaking of Reiju, I didn't see the Vinsmokes anywhere this chapter, and it's funny because I think Nami, Chopper, and Carrot say that they're the trio in charge of the rescue. I think it's going to be hilarious because, as we know, Yonji, Niji, and even Ichiji are kind of turned on by Nami. And, because they're kind of pervs like Sanji. So it would just be hilarious for Nami to show up and be like, okay, boys, I'm here to rescue, just follow me. And they're like, boom, like all the hard eyes, and be like, ah. But I really do think that the reason for why they're absent in this chapter is because Oda wants us to forget about them so that they can come back in and do something epic when we least expect them. Anyway, Big Mom is summoning Zeus and Prometheus to her side. She's like, Zeus, Prometheus, lend me your power! Which I don't really know what that says about her physical prowess. Like, why not just attack Luffy with a punch or something, with like a armament hockey punch or something? I don't know. And I think it's too early to make any type of assumption. But she does that, and then Luffy notices the picture of Mother Caramel, and he's like, okay, I'm going in. Gomu Gomu no. And just as he's about to hit the picture, boom, sit down, boy. Katakuri with the quickness. Turns out, a Logia, as if this guy wasn't broken enough. He can see the future. Has great observation hockey. Now, turns out he's Logia User, the Mochi Mochi no Mi. I looked that up. It kind of seems like it's like some type of a rice cake substance, a sticky substance, if you will, that is used for a lot of treats that are rice-based or starch-based. If you notice, the composition of it is kind of rubbery, which is why, in my opinion, the way that Oda draws Katakuri's ability in this chapter reminded me a lot of Luffy's Gomu Gomu no Mi. The way that it stretches, yeah, you could feel like it's like some type of rubbery attack, but it also happens to be sticky. And for sure, he's using Haki, on that leg, because a normal attack like that wouldn't harm Luffy as much. And Luffy, when he gets hit, he's straight up bleeding out of the mouth. I mean, he's stuck and bleeding, so it has to be Haki coated. Jinbei actually uses some tea on it so that it dissolves, and that actually breaks Luffy free. There's actually something very important in that scene as well, because Katakuri says, this guy's aiming for the picture. How did he find out that it was crucial? And I'm like, crucial for what? I thought it was just a picture. Like, what's the importance of the picture? I also kind of liked how Big Mom gets pissed at Katakuri for interfering and hitting Luffy, which makes sense in terms of why other characters didn't interfere as soon as possible, like characters like Smoothie and some of the other subordinates, because it's like, no, she'll get pissed. Like, she was telling Katakuri, hey, what are you doing? You're protecting me? I'm a Yonko. A mere Yonko, according to Jinbei. Oh, shots fired. That's gonna leave a mark. And then we get the most epic scene that we've gotten from Jinbei in the entire series. No contest. In fact, I think this chapter should have been called Jinbei's Balls. And, because, I mean, boy, does he have some balls. Morgan's be like, this is going to be massive breaking Seagull news. I can already see the front page tomorrow, alright? Jinbei, Knight of the Sea, decides to join the Straw Hat crew, but not before taking a massive dump on a Yonko's ego. And there really is no other way of describing how epic the moment is for Jinbei other than just reading the dialogue. He says, there's no way a man that intends to join the crew of the future king of the pirates will cower at a mere Yonko. Anytime a character in this series acknowledges that Luffy will become king of the pirates is a very important moment. Zoro said it in the Baratie when he lost to Mihawk for the first time. He said, Luffy, I promise you that after this, I will never lose again. Is that okay, king of the pirates? And Luffy just laughs. Usopp said it in Alabasta. He said, there's no way Luffy's dead because he's my captain and he will become the king of the pirates. Sanji, I believe, said it in Zou before he was taken away by Capone. Nami, I think, said it when they were fighting Cracker. Chopper and Brook said it in Fishman Island, and Ace said it before he died. He told Luffy, like, the only regret I have in life is that I won't live long enough to see you become king of the pirates. Jinbei was really gunning for that ego, though. Like, he was borderline almost trolling, because he even brings the sake cup, be like, yo, here it is. Here it is. You need a sake cup to leave, just like you drink sake to enter, kind of like with the Dressrosa Alliance. Drink, and then you join, and then here's a sake cup. I'm leaving. This is my resignation. And Big Mom's like, oh, you mother flippin' fishman, you have no idea what you just did. and Prometheus and Zeus are just like, you know, enlarging, just looking maniacal as hell. And honestly, I thought this was going to end with like that attack. You know what would have been crazy during this part? So Big Mom is coming in on Jinbe with Prometheus and Zeus, and she's about to kill him. At least that's what I thought she was going to do. But it would have been amazing if like Niji and Ichiji just jump in and block Prometheus and Zeus. It's become obvious that you're trying to kill us, Big Mom. What the hell? Instead, we hear something break, and it turns out that Mother Caramel's picture has been completely shattered by none other than Brook. Props to Brook. He's been shining like crazy in this arc. He got the poneglyph parchments, and now he was able to do the thing that everybody was gunning to do, which is break the picture. And he did it with kind of like Usopp's hammer. I wonder if he just, like, where did he get that? Did he just take it from Usopp before they left Zoe? Just be like, I'm just going to take this for whatever reason. Oh, there we go. Oh, another thing that I want to mention is that Katakuri, I think, unintentionally messes up in this chapter because he basically yells out, I know this is the real Luffy, the one that I'm hitting right now. Don't pay any attention to the rest of them. They're just copies using Brulee's ability. I think that's what ended up granting Brook the cover that he needed to get as close as he did to the picture. It's because Katakuri said, like, just don't mind the other ones. Forget about the other ones. And then Brook was like, well, fuck you then. I'm gonna take Usopp hammer. Boom. So, just to recap. The cake is destroyed. The picture's destroyed. And sooner or later, the Tamate Baku box is gonna explode. So prepare your asses, because, I mean, this thing begun the Yonko War has. Obviously, I thought the chapter was phenomenal. Please let me know your thoughts and theories down in the comment section below. Like the video if you did. I appreciate that, as well as your subscription. That's always good, too. Helps out the channel. And, yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.